The Italian Wine Podcast is the community-driven platform for Italian wine geeks around the world. Support the show by donating at ItalianWinepodcast.com. Donate €5 or more and we'll send you a copy of our latest book, My Italian Grape Geek Journal, absolutely free. To get your free copy of My Italian Grape Geek Journal, click support us at ItalianWinepodcast.com or wherever you get your pods. Grazie mille.
Welcome to another episode of On the Road Edition, hosted by Stevie Kim. Each week, she travels to incredible wine destinations, interviewing some of the Italian wine scene's most interesting personalities, talking about wines, the foods, as well as the incredible travel destinations.
Hello, I hope you guys can hear me now. I'm connected through Instalive. This is the part 2 of Instalive Christmas special, and it's going to be all about Passito wines. We have chosen 7 women. Well, that is to say our wine team. That's Valeria and Julia and Cynthia. They've chosen 7 women to talk about Passito wine because everyone, of course, talks about the bollicine, the sparkling wines during Christmas holidays, but nobody talks about Passito wine. So let's see what Chiara has to say. Ciao, Chiara. Eccoti, finalmente. Here we go. We're in business.
That's great.
How are
great.
you, Chiara?
Fine, thank you, Stevie.
Okay, excellent. So as you know, what we're doing for the Christmas holidays, right? Everyone is talking about sparkling wines, but no, we would like to talk about Passito.
Passito, even because with dessert, I love Passito.
Okay.
Great.
Yes. So we're going to talk to 7 women who are producing Passito from all over Italy. And you are our guest number 2. And we'll be talking about your Passito. But tell us a little bit about yourself for our audience who are less familiar.
Well, my name is Chiara Lungarotti, and I live in a little village between Perugia and Assisi, right in the center of Umbria, the green heart of Italy. Here, my father, Giorgio Lungarotti, turned its family estate into a specialized winery. This was already in the 50s. In this way started the story of the Lungarotti wines as they are today. We are very attentive in all the innovation aspects, but always being extremely careful in respecting the character of our wines, of our tradition, and of course with a great attention to all that's sustainability. We have almost 250 hectares of vineyard.
Holy
between
crap.
here and
250. So you must
Yes.
be like, if not the biggest, one of the biggest, right? In especially
We are among the biggest in Umbria, and we have 230 hectares here certified Viva, and 20 in Montefalco, organic since 2010.
Yeah, I'm actually a little embarrassed to admit this, but I only discovered recently that you also have a lovely estate in Montefalco when I came to visit you. So
Yes.
Chiara is the CEO of the Lungarotti. This is completely family owned. Is that correct?
Is it? It's a family owned, and all the members are involved in the family estate, either in the production or in the market, like my nephew, or in all the cultural activities, because we have a wine museum in which we have revealed the history of wine and of its links with all the Mediterranean civilizations since the beginnings till nowadays.
Yes, I recall that very well because, of course, we worked on in the Vinitaly Wine Pavilion at the Expo when we had a section dedicated to your museum. But today we're going to be talking about Passito. So it's going to be all about discovering Italian Passito. We have invited 7 female producers and their Passito wines to talk about for the Christmas holidays. And one of the things that we would like to know from you, of course, is the food and wine pairing, right? So let's talk about your wine, which is the Passito. We're talking about Vinsanto di Torgiano.
Oh, yes. We are talking about this. That is one of our most traditional wines. And it's made with the typical white varietal of the area that are Trebbiano and Grechetto.
Mm-hmm.
The grapes are picked by hand in September and they dry and then dried on racks till December. Then, after a very attentive selection of the berries, we press them with an hydraulic press with a yield around 25% and very slow fermentation in oak barrels, usually never new, just a tiny, tiny bit new. And then the wine is refined in the barrels for many years before being released on the market. Usually we keep it around between 7 and 8 years in barrel. It's the wine of the tradition. Stevie, everybody who used to have a few rows of vineyard in this area was always producing its own Vinsanto. And Vinsanto was a special wine to offer to the guests coming to visit, but was also a fantastic match with a homemade dessert.
So how many bottles do you produce of Vinsanto? How big is the production for your company?
Oh, it's a very small production. It's a very niche product, as well as Sagrantino Passito that we produce in Montefalco. They are both niche products, but they are products very special for this moment of the year when we match Vinsanto di Torgiano, we match with the typical desserts and not only typical desserts of Italy.
Coming back to America, Vinitaly International Academy, the ultimate Italian wine qualification, will be held in New York City from 4 to 6 March 2024. Have you got what it takes to become the next Italian wine ambassador? Find out at vinitaly.com.
So when we're talking about Vinsanto, most of the people would think naturally the pairing would be, Cantucci or, from Tuscany. What would you recommend in terms of the food pairing with Vinsanto?
Oh, well, actually, on Christmas tables in this part of Umbria, that means near Perugia, there is a very typical dessert called torciglione, and it could never, and today as well, it can't never miss on the table.
What is torciglione?
Torciglione is a dessert made with an almond pastry, just almond and sugar, and it's made with the shape of a heel. That's the typical fish coming from the Trasimeno Lake. It's made with this shape of a heel rounding, with the eyes that are 2 coffee seeds and the tongue that's orange zest. And we always serve it with Vinsanto. But Vinsanto is a wine that matches perfectly also with non-typical Umbria dessert, like the Italian panettone or the typical dolci of our area as well, like pinocchate or like many other typical Christmas biscuits. But I love it with the torciglione.
And what about, you almost said panettone. What about panettone?
Panettone, because it's another dessert that matches perfectly with Vinsanto, and that is much more well known all over the world and not just in Italy. That's the reason why people, for easiness, always think to that.
What are your plans for Christmas holiday? Like, what do you do usually? Are you in Umbria? Are you going away? Are you with the family? What do you do?
Christmas is always with family. And so we share between my family and my husband's family.
Right.
So we are driving up and down Umbria and Tuscany.
Because your husband's from Tuscany.
My husband is from Siena, so we are a little bit here, a little bit in Siena, and then after Christmas, if the weather and more than weather, the time allows us, we go skiing for a few days.
Where do you go skiing?
On the Dolomites.
Okay, excellent.
We don't have much snow near here, unfortunately.
Do you have any particular Christmas nostalgic moments that you would like to share with us?
Oh, well, I love every year. Now we have my nieces, children, but we have a tradition at home. We put always some narrator for the little donkey of Gesù Bambino, or as well as for there's some little narrator for the reindeers, Father Christmas. So the little ones go out before going to bed to prepare the narrator on the Christmas Eve. And of course, the narrator will be gone by the 25th morning because it's all eaten.
Okay. All right. Is there anything very particular about Umbria in terms of Christmas tradition?
Well, Christmas here in Umbria, it's of course, it's very, very near to our heart because you know that how do you say presepe? So in French, it's crèche.
Manger, yeah.
It was created by Saint Francis, coming back from Rome. So the tradition of the presepe, it's something that it's really of the nativity. It's something that is really very felt by everybody in this region. And in every house, there is the little representation.
Okay. Well, listen, before we close, is there anything else you would like to tell us before we wrap it all up for the Christmas holiday special?
I would love to thank you for your time, for having shared this wonderful tradition with me. And I truly hope to welcome you in Umbria, the green heart of Italy.
Everybody.
Not just you, everybody who is listening to us.
Yeah, it's very much worth it. I don't know how much has changed. I think I've been actually like 10 years ago. Like when I was in the beginning, when we did like an upper wine travel special.
Yes.
I think that was kind of the last time. And you refused to have smartphone, but now I know you have a smartphone.
No, I do have.
And do you remember?
That's
You're like,
my-
no. You're like,
that's
no
my-
BlackBerry. No, we're talking about like 12 years ago. You're like, no BlackBerry. I'm
I
sorry.
was going on with my Nokia.
Yeah, you were like, I think you had like the banana or a flip phone. You're like, no smartphone, but you have seeded and
But-
now you have an iPhone. I see that.
I have resisted as much as I could,
Yeah.
but now I've turned into modernity.
Yeah, I would like to echo Chiara's invitation. Umbria, I think it's very undervalued region in general. And of course, she has this lovely museum which shares the history of many parts of wine history. So I would love for everyone to take that into consideration, and happy holidays. And thank you for joining us, Chiara Lungarotti.
Thank you.
Ciao,
Thank you.
baci.
Bye.
Buone
Ciao.
feste.
Auguri.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Thank you for joining us on another installment of On the Road Edition, hosted by Stevie Kim. Join her again next week for more interesting content in the Italian wine scene. You can also find us at ItalianWinePodcast.com or wherever you get your pods. You can also check out our YouTube channel, Mama Jumbo Shrimp, to watch these interviews and the footage captured of each location. Chin chin!